How's things? I like how each time we chat, you're in a different. How many rooms have you got? Like 712 or something? Because
This one is so busy in the background. All I do is just rotate around a little bit. So
is that what it
yeah,
is? So 360
there's my
degrees.
desk, and then
there's the Blade Runner poster as well. Oh,
yeah,
I remember. Yep, nice.
There you go.
I can't remember you saying that it was behind your monitor.
Right. Yeah.
Last week. So
yeah.
I am getting to the point where I can rotate slowly. But the problem is, in my room, there is still lots of tubs filled with crap.
Oh, yeah.
And so I want to do something with those at some point. But I do have an Escape from New York poster there.
Nice.
They Live. I've got a Firestarter one up there, the orange.
Yeah.
And the black one is a film called The Woods, which is a film that doesn't exist. Because it was the working title and the secret title for the remake of the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, gotcha.
When I was at San Diego Comic-Con, I managed to get some posters for The Woods, which is a film.
Oh, that is cool, man.
And then up there, I've got my signed Al Pacino, Robert Loggia, Michelle Pfeiffer, Stephen Bauer Scarface poster.
Nice.
So, and then over there, my signed cast Sopranos poster. Behind this room is filled with crap, by the way, so I do apologize. On there is my Mimi poster, another film that doesn't exist. There's a bit of a pattern here. My signed John Carpenter one, and on there my Jerry Bruckheimer, Oliver Stone, Michael Eisner signed pictures, and there is my Arnold Schwarzenegger signed by Linda Hamilton and Arnie.
Oh, wow, man.
So
that is awesome.
It's slowly getting there. It's not quite up to the standards of your studio yet, but once I manage to work out where to put all these tubs and boxes and piles of crap, then then the room will be a lot better and I could show off a bit more. But that's so anybody listening to that on audio, I'll probably cut this bit out on audio because that's just mean, isn't it? Hey, look at all this cool stuff you can't even see.
I gotta say, there is still a tub in the corner. So
one tub.
One tub that I was meaning to take out to. We've got a storage area right beside the garage, and I was going to put it out there so I could put my guitars up against the wall. Yeah. And man, Jackson's is being quite noisy today. He keeps wanting me to play with him and his antler, and so anyway, now he's laying down. So now we can get to business.
How did you enjoy reminiscing about Blade Runner? Loaded question.
I enjoyed it, man.
Didn't hate it, so
Yeah. And I watched. I think it was half of it, but I mean, it was very good, man. I mean, like it's not often that I will immediately watch whatever you and I just recorded, or me and Jake, or whatever. But yeah man, that was fun.
It took me ages to put the clips in.
Yeah.
Because I don't do notes. I'm like, at 3 minutes and 12, John mentions the unicorn scene. So I don't do any of that. I have to go through it and listen to it and go, that bit. Let me find the bit in that film. Right. Let me clip that bit out. Let me mute the audio. Let me put it back. It takes me. I will get faster at doing that. But it took me like 2 days to put all that together. And I had to go through 3 passes to get past the copyright thing on YouTube. Yeah. And it was the scene when I said my favorite scene is the opening with the eye, and because it was too long, it was like 15-20 seconds, that scene, and I kept cutting it down, and eventually it went, yes, there's no copyright issues. So I was quite happy about that. But the video's doing quite well. It's done better than a lot of the other ones. So,
really? Well, that's good, man.
I'm quite happy with that, because it's what they call evergreen content, isn't it? In 5 years' time,
it is.
Go,
yeah.
So we've just got to work out. Do you think we're going to go Superman the movie next? Or is there another one you'd like to do?
Man, Superman would be awesome. I haven't seen the original Star Trek, the motion picture, in a while, but that one would be fun. And then the original Alien is one of my favorites too. So if you wanted to stay on a Ridley Scott kick, we could do that.
We could do that. I'll let you just have a bit of a think. We've got a few weeks, but have a think, and then I will cram in loads of research and listen to lots of commentaries and watch multiple versions and all that sort of stuff. But I enjoyed the Blade Runner one.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, man, it was fun. It was great reminiscing about it. And I don't know about you, but I've listened to the soundtrack a couple of times, and then
Yeah.
went right on into 2049 soundtrack. And yeah, man,
I need to
it's been-
rewatch 2049. I've only seen it once,
yeah.
and I just
Dude.
I don't own it, so therefore that's why.
Oh, really? Wow, man. I'm sorry. I should keep my poker face when you say I don't own a copy of that. What? So
Yeah,
anyway.
for some reason I don't. I have picked up this week though, which I did an unboxing. I've picked up Apocalypse Now, the final cut, which I didn't own.
Yeah.
I do own Redux, but I picked up this 2-disc set.
Yeah.
But I did find, which I did a video for the YouTube channel, the 30th anniversary set of Close Encounters, which
Nice. Does that have all the versions on it?
It has all 3 versions. It's got a scrapbook thing in it.
Nice.
But what excited me, and I've never owned one of these before, is it has a poster in it.
Nice.
So that is going to get framed and put in here somewhere. So I was very impressed. And it was only like £5, second hand. And it's immaculate condition. So I'm very, very happy with that.
There was a buddy of mine I used to let borrow CDs from time to time. We would just, let each other borrow stuff, check stuff out. And he had this really bad habit of picking the disc up, like pulling it out, putting it in his mouth so that he could grab another one and put it up. And then the disc would not be put back into the correct case. So I would go and get, let's say Quiet Riot, and it would actually be the theme from, I don't know, Aladdin.
No.
It was just,
Yeah.
And then you're cleaning it, and then, so.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
It really was, man.
Awful. I'm busy at the minute. I got some screener discs through this week, which they're kind of few and far between the screener discs. I remember like 10 years ago, I used to get like 5, 6, 7 a week. Used to just drop through the letterbox. You're like, I'm never going to be able to watch all of these. Now you get excited because you're like, woohoo, I've not had one for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I've got 2, both David Cronenberg films, which are coming out from Second Sight, filled with special features, commentaries, and all sorts. So I'm like a pig in poop. Scanners and The Brood.
Oh, nice,
so
man.
I've been watching all the extra features on Scanners. There's like 2.5 hours worth of extras, plus 2 commentaries. So I'm very excited about watching that. I'm guessing either you're really enjoying my talking to you or Jax is... all I can see is your hand moving.
It does look a little odd, doesn't it?
I'll take a 5-star review or John touching himself, whatever. It's fine.
Oh my goodness, let's see here. Man, he is so heavy.
Hey,
so
Jax.
this is Jax, 85 pounds worth.
Wow.
Look at there. Yeah. Look at that head. He is huge.
That's a big
and then
head.
periodically he'll hit something. He'll pick something up like Michelle's hairband, or I don't know. Like yesterday, it was an onion skin. So then I have to open his mouth, reach in there, and pull out whatever. And it's like reaching into a lion's mouth. I mean, it's huge, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The jaws.
Let's show. Come here.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
Like a
Good
xenomorph.
boy.
That's the
It
teeth
really
of the
is.
xenomorph. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you can see what I'm doing with my hand.
Yeah.
Which is,
So
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Where do we start?
I'll kick it off with the fact that I watch and if it gets to be too much, I will put him upstairs. But anyway, let's see here. Pull out my notes.
I have a few notes this week.
Yeah. Let's see here. If only Michelle was home so that she could take Jax up with her. That would be awesome. Ugh, man. Got some drool on my hand, which I just wiped on him.
I'm hoping it is drool. Otherwise, the jury is still out on what your hand was doing on camera.
I had a meeting, I guess it was last week, and I was doing that same thing. So I guess I really need to, not.
And that's why it's called waxing cinematic, folks.
That's right. Lots of polishing.
Wax on and wax off.
Right.
Yep, okay.
You remember a movie called Brainstorm?
I do. That's
Natalie Wood?
Christopher Walken as well, isn't it?
Yeah. yeah.
Good movie.
And it's funny. He sounded much more neutral with his accent, because he gets more eccentric with every year. And so for whatever reason, I saw that popped up on something, and I decided I would watch it. And it's really good. But man, it is a lot like Strange Days, except not as dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
It's
seen that for a
still,
long time. Brainstorm. I
yeah.
love that sort of era of sci-fi where it's like Altered
Yeah.
States, Brainstorm,
Oh,
Dream,
dude, Altered States was
Dreamscape.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember also we talked on the Blade Runner thing about looking at still images of films in magazines,
Hmm.
and I remember seeing a lot of publicity for Altered States, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell's that film about? I had no
Yeah.
comprehend what it was about, but I remember
Yeah.
seeing all the weird still images.
Yeah.
But it's
So
good. But yeah,
when he was
Brainstorm I've seen for a
in
while.
particular going down that hallway where he's kind of going, I don't even remember the altered states. He was going between human and more Neanderthal or something. I can't remember,
I
but he
think so.
was just kind of.
He kept putting himself in a flotation tank, didn't he, William Hurt?
Oh yeah, there you go.
And he just
man.
became like obsessed in the same way Jeff Goldblum did in The Fly, but he didn't
Yeah.
The Fly in Altered
Hey,
States.
have a donut, right?
Yep. Yep.
But I thought that was interesting that it was the kinder, gentler version of Strange Days. But they still had the sex scene, I mean, like and the dude was tripping because he had put it on endless loop. And but then the ending was where Christopher Walken dies and then drifts off to heaven and he sees all the angels and all that stuff. I don't even remember that being a thing, and that's
I don't
definitely
remember
not
that.
the way Strange Days
No.
ended. So
Strange Days is an amazing film.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's about time
Really,
for a
really
rewatch on that. I don't think I've seen that in at least a decade, and it's really solid. It's one of my favorites.
I think other than the fact you look at it and go, yeah, they're mini discs, the technology, you're like, whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
great film.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did I watch? I haven't really watched that much. I watched Thelma, if you've seen Thelma, with 95-year-old June Squibb, who was one of the presenters at the Oscars last week.
Oh, really?
And she obviously playing a 95-year-old woman, and she gets scammed by Malcolm McDowell over the telephone, and they scam her for, I think, like $10,000. And she decides, right, I'm going to go all John Wick and get my money back. And she goes off. She goes off.
She doesn't need Jason Statham, the beekeeper.
She don't need no crappy beekeeper. Why are they making a beekeeper too? I don't know. I saw that.
Are they really?
They started out, but the thing is, everybody's like, yay, brilliant. I'm like, no, not really. But yeah, so she goes off to get her money back on her mobility scooter. It's a nice, sweet film. It's got Richard Roundtree in it. I think it was one of his final final films, but that was good. And I watched a creepy haunted house movie called Not Alone, which is one of these haunted house movies where a family buy a house and weird shit starts happening and they just go, oh, that's weird, get out. Do the Eddie Murphy thing. So they don't leave the house because they're stupid in movies, but I suppose if they did, there'd be no movie. But that and then I decided to rewatch the John Wick franchise, so we sat and rewatched the first John Wick movie, which is absolute classic. So
so you're ready for the ballerina, right?
I'm looking. Well, the thing is, it's a different director though, so it could go either way. It's not Chad Stahelski or David Leitch, even though I think Stahelski produced it. It's still, so it could go wrong. I don't know, but I am looking forward to it. And we went to see The Monkey, the Stephen King based thing.
Oh, how was it?
Oh, I loved it. Crazy, gory, stupid.
Yeah, it looked like it would be fun.
It is fun. It is absolute fun. So that's the first time I've been to the cinema since Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
So that's a while. So it was nice to go back to a movie theater again. So
yeah, we were planning on going to see the new Captain America movie when it came out, and I forget what. Oh, Michelle got sick. That was why we didn't go. So I felt like maybe that wasn't the best idea to go, and so then we were going to catch it the next weekend, and of course something else came up. So then now we're waiting on it to hit digital.
Well, that's the thing now, isn't it? At one point, you know, when we were growing up, you're like, I need to see this movie, otherwise I'm not going to see
Right.
it for like years. Now you're like, oh, I
Right.
missed it this week. Oh, it'll be out on video on demand next week. So you do wait. I've found myself waiting more.
Yeah.
The only reason we went to see the Monkeys because we got free cinema tickets. So we're like,
Oh, nice, man.
we'll either go
Yeah.
watch something or lose the tickets. Like, well, let's just
Yeah.
go watch the Monkey. So we did,
Yeah.
and it was fun.
Well, and that is smart of them when they're giving a ticket away that you know, there's an expiration date.
Yeah. So,
'Cause
but now
I've got
we've got 2 for
Yeah.
March now, and it's like I don't know what comes out in March, so we'll have to have a look. Otherwise, we lose them.
Yeah.
We get 2 every month.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice, man. Yeah, I don't know what's coming out in this month. I mean, like, there's the new Chris Pratt movie that's on Netflix. See, there's always these little segues into, nah, we don't have to leave. It's an excuse. So, have you ever watched any of the True Detective series? It's an HBO, now it's Max.
I started watching season 1 and I quite liked it, but just for somehow never finished that. So even though it's different cast each season, I've never gone back to what is it a solid run? The whole lot, or?
There was one season I skipped. I started it and it just didn't hold my interest. So I think the first 2 seasons are solid, and Night Country, which is the current season that just wrapped up, man. Michelle through work heard that it was really good, and then they've been given, you know, like rave reviews and stuff. So we start watching it, and there's this supernatural edge to it, and you don't know you know, exactly what's happened, but yet, man, the ending is solid. So you're glad, and it's just 6 episodes. It's not like it's, you know, occupying a lot of your life. You know.
And that's Jodie Foster, that one, isn't it? The 4th.
Yeah. I can't remember Navarro's the actress who plays Navarro, but that's who she teams up with, and they, you know, solve the crime. But I mean, like, it being in Alaska, and it just became 30 Days of Night. I'm probably mixing it up with the vampire movie, but yeah, I mean, so every day is just such a drag, and you're trying to find clues in the dark, in the snowstorm, and so lots of interesting characters, but that's probably my favorite season. So
okay, I might add it to my ever-growing list.
Yeah. And then Daredevil Born Again. I don't know if you're.
I was going to ask. I didn't see any of the Netflix stuff. So...
you don't have to necessarily. I mean, like, that is the background, but if you watched Hawkeye on Disney Plus,
no, I'm so far behind with I haven't seen many of the Marvel TV shows because there's too much stuff to watch anyway, and I'm like, you know, you miss one, things, I might as well miss everything now.
Yeah, I mean, like, there were cool nods to both Hawkeye and Echo, but I mean, then he made a reference to Spider-Man, talking about, you know, that he was a vigilante. So I don't know if, I mean, like, that'd be really cool if Marvel owned enough of Spider-Man to have him make a cameo in the show. But 2 episodes are streaming now, and man, I mean, like, the opening scene troubled me technically, and it was a wonder. So there was some really cool stuff going on, and I still enjoyed it. But when they have the cameras locked and they decide, oh well, we're just going to add a little motion, right? I can tell that it's digital versus actually the camera moving because of the way the background doesn't move. And so, but once you get past that, if that troubled you technically, which, you know, probably you and Neil would be, correct?
I'd be fine. Neil's probably throwing a shotgun in his TV as he watches it.
But it was excellent, man. And so you get to the end of the 2nd episode, and Daredevil is back. I mean, like, it just... And it did have that flavor of the Netflix, really dark and gritty, and yet had the humor mixed in. I mean, it's really well done. So
And then are they going week to week? I think they're doing a weird schedule, aren't they? It's like 1 and then 2 and then all this sort of stuff, or
Oh,
no?
I don't know. I didn't look that far ahead. That would be kind of
Right.
cool if it's that way. But
I will try and find out. But I'm sure somebody had mentioned the release schedule, and I think I remember it being rather odd. It might not be. It might just be me. So that's why I'm better off checking, so I don't look like an idiot permanently.
Yeah.
Would you rather that they released the whole lot at once, or are you okay?
Dude, as a safety net to curb my binge watching, I think it is better if they just release them once a week. Because Michelle was a trooper. Last night we had dinner later than usual, and we started Daredevil, and she was about an hour and a half late going to bed. But she stayed up because I could not stop watching. So thank God there were only 2, or I may have watched everything last night. So
please tell me that they're not doing half-hour episodes.
No, it's like the old Netflix, and it's each one was about an hour, give or take a few minutes. But yeah, dude, that would have been very disappointing. Because when you get into the action and then it's like, hey, next time on Daredevil.
So you've had the first 2 episodes. It is a weird release schedule. The episode 3 is on the 11th of March.
Yeah.
Episode 4 is on the 18th of March, so we're still week to week in it. Episode 5 and 6 are on the 25th of March, so you get 2 that week, and then it is weekly for 7, 8, and 9, and then you're done for season 1.
That probably makes a lot of sense because episodes 1 and 2 really went back to back like a movie, and left you just anyway. Beautifully shot. I don't want to give anything away, but I mean, like, beautifully shot, beautifully lit. It was it was pretty much Daredevil perfection. And I'm a huge Daredevil fan anyway. It's kind of funny that I have a couple of Daredevil figures that are in my collection, but they're not out. I don't know why.
Because you've no space. That's why you've no space. That's an easy answer. There's a space next to your keyboard there, to be fair, the laptop. So
right.
Put one there.
Yeah. Well, if I just remove the laptop, right?
That would work. Get a few figures there.
Right.
So you don't necessarily have to have seen the Netflix stuff. As long as you know who Daredevil is, then all should be fine.
Right. There's one reference to something that happened in Echo. But if you don't know, I don't know. I mean, like, they explained that that Fisk has been away for a little while. He no longer identifies as Kingpin. He's trying to be the next mayor of New York. Yeah, I know, man. And I mean, like, Daredevil had or Matt Murdock had actually kind of stopped being Daredevil for a little bit. So this is the so it's not just Daredevil born again, it's also Kingpin born again. So it's just very well written and acted, and I mean, like, you actually care about the characters. There have been some things, Flight Risk, where you just don't care about. Other than that, Mark Wahlberg actually shaved his head. That's extremely probably noteworthy.
That's the coolest thing about the film, the fact that he actually shaved his hair.
And he looks just like his brother. No offense to whatever his brother's name is. Yeah.
Did you watch any of the Oscars?
Dude, none. And my dad was even asking me on Monday, because we go for a walk, and he was asking me what I thought about something. I don't know. I guess he had seen, like a news bite. And I didn't see it. I didn't take the time. And even the Super Bowl, I haven't even watched any of the commercials. I'm trying to be surgically precise with what I spend my time with. And so, man, Super Bowl ads.
The results. You find out. But the time I woke up the morning after, it was like I already knew who'd won what because I get the news alerts and stuff. But I did sit and watch the 4-hour plus broadcast.
Yeah.
Wow, 4 hours plus. It was fine. Conan O'Brien was a good host.
Oh yeah.
As always, certain people get left off the in memoriam wall, and then the internet goes mad and starts complaining, and so it's pretty much a standard year for the Oscars. I think they missed Tony Todd off the wall, which I don't quite understand why Tony Todd was missing. Michelle Trachtenberg from Buffy, I kind of get why she was on it because she's primarily TV. So she'll probably be on the Emmys or something like that. But then some people said also because she died recently. But Morgan Freeman came on and talked about Gene Hackman, who I'm sure we'll mention. So that negates that one. Can't work out why Tony Todd wasn't on there, though, because he's primarily movies. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. So were you amused when Zoe Saldana won an award and Nick Offerman said, and Zoe Saldana, and this is her first win? And I was like, what the hell? Have you never heard of her? And did you not practice? I mean, like, that's rule one of voiceover, man. You practice and, you make sure that everybody's happy with your pronunciation. So, yeah. No, like Stuart Barnerman, who, it'd be insulting, man.
It was. I think that's probably realistically why she was crying so much on that speech. It's like,
probably. Yep.
What I found fascinating though was, I mean, like the actors and stuff, even the presenters are actors. They get up, and half the time you're like, I'm pretty sure you should have rehearsed that reading because it just sounds terrible when they're doing a bit. They're like, so John, what have you done today? Well, and it's like, oh, that sounds cringeworthy. If they were on a film set, it'd be like, do that again. It always fascinates me how their little bits sound terrible, but yet we know that they're really, really good actors. So it's like it always confuses me and fascinates me a little bit. Like, come on, you're better than that.
Yeah, well, especially when you see them on SNL and they're reading cue cards, and obviously because they're all staring off in this direction while interacting this way, and but it's smooth and it's funny for the most part. If it's not smooth, then it's even more funny. Which, by the way, the SNL movie on
Saturday night,
is it? Yes,
I'm partway through watching it. I don't know. I can't work out if I like it or not. I appreciate it because it looks just madness on screen.
Yeah,
but it's giving me a headache because it's like slow down, calm down. But I think Annette hated it. That's why we stopped it. She's like, no, I'm out. So I have to watch bits of it on my own. But overall, you liked it?
Yeah, Michelle and I both thought it was fun. I mean, for what it was fun. And then the tall guy from Succession, whatever that actor's name, the fact that he played Andy Kaufman and Jim Henson was very cool.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at Jim Henson, I was going, he looks just, they tapped him to play two roles. So,
well, because it's set at the just before the very first episode, isn't it? Which is 78 or 77, something like that.
Yeah.
And so when the film comes on, bearing in mind they're from the UK, so we didn't really get Saturday Night Live. The first we'd heard of it was when the Blues Brothers and all that sort of stuff came out.
Oh yeah.
But there's a guy in the film who I thought he was playing Eddie Murphy because not because of his skin color, John. No, but just the way he sounds and the way he's talking, and I'm like, that can't be Eddie Murphy because Eddie Murphy wasn't until the 80s, and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is, that character is. But it really sounded like somebody saying, "You're Eddie." It's like, am I? I didn't think Eddie was around at that time. I don't think he was. But
that was the original Eddie. Yeah, man. And it was one of my memories of, and I'm spacing on his name. So, but on one of the, I guess it was in the original season, there was Chevy Chase doing the news, and then they decided to have him about the hearing impaired. So Chevy would say something and then he would yell it. Anyway, it was hilarious. That, and then when I went to Dan Aykroyd that called Jane Curtin an ignorant slut. I can't, during the news, man. So yeah, but I thought everybody. I wish there was a huge box set of all the Saturday Night Lives because I'd sit and watch them because it's not something that we get over here. Dude,
so.
Yeah, I think originally it was really good, and then at some point they just kind of lost their way and they weren't funny anymore, to me anyway.
Oh.
And so that was probably 2 seasons, 3 seasons, somewhere in there, and then they came back and they're reasonably funny now. They still do some just things that I don't find funny, but I mean, there's still a lot of things that, but then you can go to YouTube and go, hey, I want to see the Conehead sketch, or I want to see the whatever. And yeah, you can reminisce when it was funny.
I remember watching Coneheads I saw Coneheads when it arrived in my video store, the movie. I liked it. Oh, that was fun. So,
Michelle was saying, I guess it was, I don't know. It was one day when she said, I'm headed home, but I've got to call the parental units first. So she needed to check on her parents. But it was a funny Conehead reference. My wife is the most beautiful, sexy nerd on the planet. So she just amuses me because I don't think these things should be coming up in her mind and her saying them. But they're hilarious. So
yeah. Brilliant. Any video games? I've got notes. I hate notes. I don't like notes. That's why it's thrown me. Have you been playing anything?
Yeah.
I spent 4 hours today playing Star Wars Outlaws on the PlayStation. Played it for like 2 weeks, and I'm nearly finished the single player, I think.
Yeah. Let's see here. I played Crash Team Racing. That was the last thing that I played because my son and he lives like 600 miles away. So every Wednesday afternoon we play a video game. Usually it's either Halo or Gears of War. And
of course,
Crash Team Racing, if we get started late, then Crash Team Racing are like, little bite-sized pieces. And then, hey, Michelle just got home. I've got to go. And then we wrap it up. So, but I bought, because I played Last Jedi or whatever on the PlayStation. And I saw they had it for the Xbox, and it said it was for my Xbox. I mean, like, Apple doesn't allow you to buy anything that isn't going to work. But evidently, Microsoft doesn't care. So they took my $20 to buy both of them because I haven't played the second one, right? And it said, oh, we're sorry, this won't work on your system. I'm like, I don't even understand. So that's one more thing that I'm adding to my list to do is to try to investigate that because it said it would work and then it doesn't. And who knows, man? I got a ton of space on my external hard drive. Sorry, I didn't mean to step up on my soapbox and bitch, but
it's fine. You're allowed to bitch. This is a therapy platform. To bitch and moan.
Let's see here. Have you watched any of Severance?
Nope. None. None whatsoever.
It's good. I mean, like, I guess season 2 just started, and you like how I'm limiting my arm movement as I pet the dog.
You're slowly moving your arm. Yeah.
But anyway, Severance is interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they're doing on the Severance floor. And I don't know. I don't want to give anything away. It's weird, but yet really good. And at one point, Michelle was, like, this is just kind of, everyone acts in a very muted way, right? And so she was just like, this is just meh. And then I don't know, some episode got her intrigued again. And then so anyway, we've been, we're into season 2, although we're not caught up in current. But it's good, man.
Good. Ben Stiller, isn't it? He's connected with that, isn't it? I think he produces it or something.
Go figure, man. Produces, writes, and then also directs some episodes. Yep. So I didn't think that Ben Stiller had this kind of show in him. I don't know why, but so staying on an Apple kick, Mythic Quest. Did you watch any of those?
I haven't got Apple,
seasons,
so I'm way. But I think the last thing I watched on Apple was Shrinking season 2, so I'm all caught up on that.
Which is excellent. You can't. It's hard to top that. Ted Lasso probably does, but yeah, man. What else? Let's see here. Have you watched Reacher? Season 3 is out now, I think.
I am waiting because they're doing like week to week as well with that. So I am waiting until they've all finished, and then I'll sign up for Prime for a month, and then I'm going to batter through the final season of Bosch Legacy as well. So
that's right. That's coming up.
Yeah, I will plow through that lot in my month of Prime.
Yeah.
I have with my TV package. I have Netflix included and Paramount Plus included. I haven't really watched
Yeah.
anything on Paramount Plus though, because I'm up to date with
Uh,
Tulsa King. I've watched all of
yeah.
Yellowstone. I haven't started on the prequels. Mayor of Kingstown's just, that is coming back, by the
Yeah.
way. We talked about that,
Yeah.
but who
Yeah.
knows when? I've
Right.
got Lioness season 2, which I've not yet started.
Really good, man.
I'm trying to keep 2 shows going at any one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, I never finish any of them.
Yeah. And see, that's another benefit with the, dropping one per week, so that it's like old school television that you and I grew up with, where it's, Battlestar Galactica. Oh, that's it for this week. And then, as long as the president doesn't interrupt it, I don't know how Europeans did it, but, because now I just watch the recap on YouTube if I do that at all. So
I do apologize for not wearing a suit to this meeting as well. I know that's the thing.
Wow. So I'm doing the therapeutic coaching thing, and I read the handbook, and then I had to ask Nicola. I said, all right, so there's because she didn't want any political or religious things, in the background, which I don't. I said, there's just tons of nerd stuff. And she said that was fine. And then wear a nice shirt. It's supposed to be like dress casual, at a professional workplace. And I said, I'm always in t-shirts. Is that okay? And she was like, oh, yeah. So anyway, everything I was doing was fine.
Good.
But it made me second guess. I'm like, wow,
Because it's like, I think you mentioned politics on anything, and it just alienates half your.
It does.
Your audience or your customer base, or whatever it is. It's like half of them go, right, I'm done. Because they get way too mad at politics nowadays. I get that politics is serious, but don't fall out with people for it. It's because they think differently.
Right. Strange. Well, that's kind of like, and I can't remember. Well, it's surely we didn't discuss this, but George Clooney made the comment that he is a diehard Democrat, did not vote for Trump, but Trump won. And he supports the president, and try it again in 4 years. But don't be, rebelling against the machine and all that, because we're in this together. And whether we agree, on all the minutia of what's going on, man, there's a lot of change. But, you just have to kind of ingest it, let it, either that or just ignore it like I do most of the time.
You put the news on, you look at the headlines, you go, right, I'll switch off now, done. I've had my bite size, I'm off.
Because Reacher is fresh today.
Yes, Daredevil and Reacher and Bosch and all these shows have to be caught up with. So very sad to lose Gene Hackman.
Yeah, was that not a crazy story? And
it's a crazy story, but it just makes me hate the internet a lot more. Yeah, because a lot the internet turned into CSI, didn't it? Oh, I think what happened? Right, the dog and the door and the pills and the phone. Why the 3 people, different groups, and and there was very few postings where people were like, I love Gene Hackman movies. My favorite one was Unforgiven.
Right.
My favorite one was Get Shorty. It was all like, oh, what do you think happened? It's like, can we just have a day or two where it's not about, I think this happened. I think some John Wick got him and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Focus on the fact that a damn good actor is no longer. I know he'd retired 20 years ago, but I like seeing people sharing pictures now and again going, Gene Hackman went to the supermarket. And you're like, he looks old because he is 95. It's Gene Hackman. In the same way when people go, oh, Jack Nicholson went to the Lakers. Look, there he is. And there's a photo of him. But it just the coverage of it was a bit sad.
Well, and it was
about
instant.
What happened rather than but legend has gone.
When the sheriff's department announced it, and they were just like, Gene Hackman has been found dead. His wife found dead beside him, and the dog found dead. Everybody's like, wow, man, somebody must have offed him, or it was a gas leak or whatever. Yeah. And you're right, man. It was an immediate CSI, and you had all these. And man, when you've got AI coming up with these videos and stuff, and then everybody's posting, it's just clickbait.
Yeah.
That's when I don't even want YouTube at that point. I'm just
No.
done. I will
No.
take our streaming networks and just be done.
Yeah. I'll just take my physical media discs and dig
Yeah,
out my French Connection
yeah,
movies and watch them. But it was we were trying to work out what Gene Hackman film to watch. That's kind of a sick tradition we have. When somebody passes away, we go, tonight we're going to watch a film that
right.
features them. And we ended up watching Get Shorty, which I'd seen
Yeah,
before, but Annette had never
yeah.
seen it. She thought it was fine. It's like, it's all right. But I was tempted to go French Connection, but Annette's seen Unforgiven. You're like,
Right.
she's seen that one too. I'm like, I want to go for something that I've not seen for a while and Annette
Yeah,
hasn't seen. So hence Get Shorty was the choice. But one hell of a
yeah.
filmography, though.
Oh, yeah. So maybe we should do Superman next.
That would be a good
Since
thing.
he was Lex
Yeah.
Luthor. Yeah. The only thing, it's kind of like, Butch and Sundance, that movie, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I love that movie, with the exception of the raindrops keep falling on my head, where they ride a bike and pine for the same woman.
Yeah.
In the same way, I hate that when Superman takes Lois Lane up and she's like, "Can you read my mind?"
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as bad as I remember, because I remember Anakin being just awful. And then when I rewatched episode 1, it wasn't bad.
It's fine.
I mean, like, he didn't sound as stupid saying, "Are you a space angel?" No, he was smoother. I don't know why I had so much disdain for his delivery, but it wasn't bad.
You'll never sell me on the yippee. You'll never.
Yeah.
That's just never gonna happen. The thing with the Superman, can you read my mind, and the Margot Kidder thing, I don't mind
Yeah.
it in the film, but I
Yeah.
hate the fact that it's on the soundtrack or it's on some versions of the soundtrack. You're like, why? That's not a song. It's a bit in the
Right.
film. Why have you just
Yeah.
chopped that out? Have the music
Yeah.
part. Don't
Yeah.
have the. Can you read my? No, you can't. Maybe I don't. Shoot.
Just blame Eminem, because he had all these skits and stuff, and a lot of rappers did, where it's like going into a song, there was some little scene, and then and they wouldn't edit it down to tracks. It was all seamless. It would go directly into the next, and like
Yeah.
for whatever reason, a lot of AC/DC songs, if you try to just listen to a single song, jump around different albums, I don't know if somebody was drunk when they were defining tracks,
Probably.
but man, I mean, like, the song starts on the last track, and then it just, it's annoying. So
But yeah, so I was the Gene Hackman thing.
yeah,
It's I mean, we're obviously at an age where we wake up and it's like, hey, somebody that we remember as an adult actor when we were a kid, they're no longer with us, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh,
that, or you see them and you're like, holy shit, who is that? Oh, that's so and so, because they've
Yeah.
aged and they've
Yeah.
been out in the spotlight, and yeah, either that or it's like, hey, wait, what? I didn't know that that guy looked as young, but then it's whoever their younger version is, like Brad Pitt. So yeah. There's one guy that he was in Jake's first short film that I was a producer and DP on, and we shot it out in Wilmington. Cullen, God, I'm spacing on his last name, but anyway, he's been in so many things, and he was even in Mayor of Kingstown, and
Nice. Yeah.
so I mean, like, he's had a lot of visibility. Well, there's this younger dude that looks like a younger version of Cullen. And so anyway, I was watching Daredevil and I was like, damn, that's awesome that Cullen's in there. Oh, wait, that's not him.
That's not him.
Same eyes, same just color of the hair and face shape and stuff. 10 years younger,
Not
man.
him.
Yeah.
It's like, Gene Hackman can't be that age. I watched him in The French Connection last week on DVD, and he looked younger. Yeah, of course he
Right.
did. 1971 film.
Right. That, or what did I see? Oh my gosh, there was something I saw recently. Oh, it was the Gorge, and it had Sigourney Weaver in it.
Hmm.
And I was just like, wow, man. I mean, like, she's still beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I think I saw Alien or something else a little too recently, and it was jarring.
1979.
I didn't think that Hollywood movie stars aged. But I'm glad to see the ones who are free to age versus doing the
Yeah,
Madonna and
yeah.
just becoming weird, man. You
Shout out
know.
to Meg Ryan for that one. Jeez.
Yeah.
She was presenting the Oscars, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's Meg Ryan because they've said it's Meg Ryan, but you're like, you don't look like Meg Ryan. Not that you've
Yeah.
just gotten older, because that's what happens to everybody, but
Right.
it's like, I
Yeah.
can't see Meg Ryan in there. It's
Yeah.
just, it's on you. And there's a few like that where they've had work done and stuff for whatever reasons, and it's like, can't see who you were any longer in there.
Yeah.
It's
And then
unusual.
their face doesn't move, and they just start looking like a animatronic. Although animatronics at Disney have come further than their faces. That sounded really cruel and mean, but you get what
we're
I'm
not being
saying.
mean.
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it? James Cameron
Yeah.
can sort that out. Come on, Jim.
Yeah. Yep.
At some point, we'll have to do the Terminator as well. I think, or would you prefer Terminator 2? Do you think which is more of a classic? 2. Is it 1 or 2?
Terminator 2 was one of those that, I mean, like, I'd seen Terminator 1. I still remember. I mean, like, Michelle and I went over to Charlotte to do dinner with friends over the weekend, and we're driving down to Independence. Not that you know what that is, but anyway, the old movie theater has been turned into some sort of, like a auto sales place. So there's cars everywhere, and but I mean, that was always kind of a sacred theater because that's where I saw Terminator. And so I have very fond memories. But Terminator 2 set the it was just like this bullet train that was the fastest thing out. It was nonstop. You just had to get out of the way and enjoy the whole movie. So yeah, I mean, like, maybe it would be fun. Can you do 3 like have 2 guests on here?
I mean, we'll cover that in a minute, but Skype's going away, isn't it? Microsoft are killing it. They're shutting Skype down in May.
No way!
It's going. So,
oh my gosh,
we may end up going over to Teams or Discord. I've not worked out which one to go over to yet. But people keep firing things at me. Zoom is okay, but Zoom is a paid thing, and I'm like, I ain't paying for anything because I don't make anything. Yeah. So I've ruled that out. Because you can only do 40 minutes and one guest on that. So. Teams, I think, is okay. You can have like 150 people on that one. And Discord, apparently, you can do video as well. So, whatever platform, yes, we can have more than one. So maybe we'll drag Jake out of his
man.
hidey hole.
If you do Terminator or you do oh my gosh, what is that crime drama thing? The Bullet? No,
The Wire.
The Wire. Man, I was so close. I knew it had "the" in it. Let's see here. So jumping around, there was some other comment I was going to make, but I guess that'll come back to me. So we watched The Gorge. Do you know anything about that?
It's on my list to watch when I get Apple.
It was really good.
I
man.
love the premise of it. I like those types.
Yeah.
Somebody said that the first half of it, basically, I said I'd be happy if it was just the whole film was about 2 people on the opposite sides of a gorge and them communicating, which I know that's in it. And then the person went, yeah, the whole film's not that. And I'm like,
right, yeah.
So they didn't like the third act, wherever that goes. I'm guessing whatever comes out of the gorge and stuff. But that's a guess. I haven't seen it. But
it was. I mean, like, it was cool. It was truly a love story. Overall, you know how these things, it's like, oh, the gorge and these things coming up from the pit of hell or whatever. And anyway, but it was I enjoyed it. Michelle did too. So you've got Miles Teller, which I don't know what he's been in before. He looked very familiar.
Oh, Top Gun Maverick.
You are right. Yeah.
Whiplash, which is amazing if you've not seen Whiplash with J.K. The drumming one.
Was he the drummer?
He was the drummer. Yeah, Miles Teller.
No way. Good Lord, man.
Way. Yep.
Yeah.
But it was Saturday Night Live there. Yes, way.
Oh, I remember, man. So Anya Taylor-Joy, maybe it's Anya. I don't know. But anyway, I saw her first in the Queen's Gambit. So it was kind of funny when they play chess long distance. So So going back to Brainstorm, this was what I was trying to remember. The whole thing was filmed in North Carolina, back when North Carolina
Wow.
gave a damn about being a contender in the filming industry. And then, of course, there was, I don't know, was it 2008? I can't remember, but it was like, man, we can't keep doing these incentives. The economy's bad. We don't give a crap. And so Screen Gems, I don't know what they do. They're a big studio out in Wilmington,
Yeah, they did
but
all
we
the
don't
Resident Evil films. They did all of those. Did Screen Gems. So they've
really.
yeah.
So was that did they film in North Carolina or
I
did they
don't know.
just
I don't know if
yeah
those were,
yeah
but I remember the Screen Gems logo because that's a logo I've been familiar with over years.
yeah man. But anyway, it was interesting that they had Raleigh, Pinehurst, which Pinehurst is like a golfing community, and then they went out to Kill Devil Hills, which is where the Wright brothers did their first flight.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and so anyway, but it was just cool because I was looking it up and I was thinking, surely this was like filmed in Canada and they're just putting some signs up here and there, but the whole thing was filmed in North Carolina, so the credits said so.
Nice.
Interesting. Yeah. When you get Prime, you're cordially invited as Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. And Michelle did laugh more than I did because
Hmm.
sometimes people can get on my nerves. But she
Yeah.
thought the whole thing was funny. But
Yeah.
overall, I thought it was funny. It's like I don't I don't like the I Love Lucy show because Lucy annoys me, and I
Hmm.
realize that's her shtick.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, bitch, please. Now that sounded very sexist, and I didn't mean for it to sound as sexist as it came out. But I'm just like, what in the world? Why? Why are you? Why is Ricky stay with you? Why? I don't understand. Because if you can,
Contracts. They got like a 5
right
season contract. That's
there, you.
that's what that is.
Yep. Um, let's see here. What else? We already kind of tossed flight risk
We did
under the bus.
under the plane wheels. Yep.
Yeah. Now, I mean, from a financial end of things, I mean, like as far as a budget, every dollar was well spent. Overall, because I mean, to have the whole movie in a plane, and so all you have to do is just, however, whether it's green screen or whether they have rear projection, so to speak, with LED TVs. I mean, like it was genius. But anyway, but yeah, it
It's
was just yeah,
it's still weird that that's a Mel Gibson directed film though.
dude,
It's
that was
really,
the shocker,
really,
man.
really strange how that is.
If you've ever played poker or played anything where you think, oh, I'm gonna win, and then it's like I have a royal flush, boom, beat your aces, right? Um, that was my reaction at the end. I'm like, because I saw oh, what is his production company? Um, anyway, that the name of his production
Icon.
company came up.
Was it
Yeah,
Icon?
Icon. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with the old artwork and stuff. And and I was
I was sitting here thinking, whose production company? Who are we talking about? That's my
but,
my brain just went blank. Then I'm like, oh yeah, Mel Gibson.
and then
Icon.
so it was kind of a teaser, but it's almost like the gotcha moment in the whole movie was when the credits roll and it's like directed by Mel Gibson. And I'm like,
Yep.
what just happened? Did I miss the movie? What because it was just so not
Not Mel Gibson.
Braveheart. It was
No, it's
no.
like if that was Mel Gibson's first movie, you'd go, okay, fair enough.
Right.
Let's see what you
Yeah.
do next. You're like, you've done all these
Yeah.
others, Apocalypto and Passion and Braveheart and Man Without a
Right.
Face, and now you do Flight
Yeah.
Risk. Did you lose a bet or something? Did you get drunk and sign a contract?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
and then the actress, oh, what is her name? Michelle Dockery.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I mean, like Michelle watches Downton Abbey, which as much as I made fun of it, there was a producer that I used to work with, and I would purposely call it Downtown Abbey, and she would get upset.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out Downton is just another version of downtown. I'm like, so anyway,
Kinda
I was
right.
disappointed that, yeah. So, but she's there's not a lot of emotion coming from her.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she nailed all her lines, but anyway, again, I don't want to spoil it for those people that would be like Michelle and watch it and go, "Wow, that was fun. What'd you think?" And I'm like,
I'm gonna watch it because I'm a
yeah,
completist, and I think it's the only
yeah,
Mel Gibson directed. Oh no, I haven't seen Passion or Apocalypto because they just sound too harsh and violent. I'm like, I don't want that in my brain. So I haven't
that
seen them
is,
all, but I'm curious to
yeah,
watch Flight Risk.
yeah, that is funny that both Apocalypto and The Passion are both sacrificial movies. They both deal with sacrifice. That is interesting.
I think with Apocalypto though, when it came out, they were raving about it, and then somebody I know had seen it and went, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
great! This guy gets his face bitten off by a jaguar." And I'm like, I, in what world am I going to go? Oh, I must watch this now. It's like I don't want to see somebody get their face bitten off by a jaguar. So I've just never.
Yeah.
So whoever told me that, you've just, I've not watched the film
Right.
because of that. And the same with The Passion. Oh, it's 2 hours and it
Yeah.
shows you what Jesus went through, and it's brutal and it's
Right.
nasty. Why
Yeah.
would I want to watch that? I don't
Right.
know.
Well, because you've got to be up for the second one, the Passion
Yeah.
2, Electric Boogaloo, or whatever they're calling it.
They should call it Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
I'm
Actually,
more likely to watch it.
I think they would get a grander viewing audience if they would call it The Day After or 3 days after, because it takes place after Jesus has come back from the dead. So if they go with all of the, there's so many movies out now about the, like civil wars and everything going, civilization going to crap and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Pure
I
escapism.
think 3 days later,
The Passion 2, Jesus is back. I mean, yes, your poster quote is right there, and it's written itself. But
yeah, I can see Mel Gibson being the, he's the Apostle Paul maybe, and it's his face, and then you have Jim Caviezel and a few other people down at the bottom.
Has Mel Gibson been forgiven yet? Because it's like, or are people still mad at him?
I think he's been forgiven. I mean, he seems to be living a very consistently kind life now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there were, who knows why? I mean, we can all have a bad day and choose somebody out when they don't deserve it. And of course, his went on for days or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, man. Could have been any one of the people in his camp that were kind of driving him crazy. But I think he has been forgiven and is now acceptable. And what was that? Was it Daddy's Home? Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
That was a funny movie. Yeah, he was in the second one, wasn't
he? Yeah. As the dad, and you're seeing why Mark Wahlberg's character is like he is. So but but anyway, but yeah, I don't know, man. He seems to have a everybody seems
slowly
to accept
coming
what
back.
He's wanted to. Yeah, man. Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things where I think I think he swayed a lot of people by leaving Hollywood and saying, I'm not going to do Hollywood movies anymore. I'm going to do my own stuff. It's going to reflect my values. And so I think that probably helped his street cred a bit.
I'm just always fascinated by the judgmental internet where, it's like, and we'll use, I don't know whether to use Kevin Spacey as an example. We'll use Mel Gibson as an example because we've been talking about Mel.
Yeah.
But Mel does some stupid stuff and the internet gets mad at him going, go away.
Yep.
You're mean, you're horrible.
Right.
You said stupid things and you said nasty things. Go away.
Right.
And then Mel comes back 5 years later going, I'd like to make a movie, please. And the internet's like, no. And he's like, look, but I've got to eat. I've got to pay bills.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what does the internet think that these people should do? Never work ever again and starve to death? But no, don't work. It's just what are they supposed to do?
Do they go? It's not an earthquake. It's Jax's face. I apologize for everybody who's just like, oh, I'm getting queasy, man. There must be an earthquake in America.
The John Fowles Project.
That's right. That's right. One of these days, that's the way we should start the podcast. I'm going
to end it like this.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Let's see here. Oh well, I did not plug my phone in like I usually do, so I'm just trusting that there's enough juice to carry us.
Oops. Yep, here's hoping. We got about 20 minutes to go, so fingers crossed.
I think I'll probably plug it in now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yep.
But no,
Let's see
it does.
here.
It fascinates me, the judgmental nature of the internet. Like, no, you never work again. But I need to. No. It's like,
It,
what?
but then it doesn't take much, and everybody's happy again.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
very fickle,
They are.
100%. So yeah, wow, man. Okay, note to self: Jax needs a babysitter for the next podcast.
It does.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you hear him burp? That was awesome too.
Definitely for the Superman the movie one, because that's like these are easy because these are sort of loose and stuff. But yeah, the
Right.
PhD in Superman the movie or Alien,
Right.
whichever one we decide to go.
Yeah. Well, I think due to Gene Hackman, I think we should probably do Superman. Let's see here. I was trying to think. I guess we talked about the best of the best that we've been watching. We did see Elevation. I think that's on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah.
Which we had. What was the John Krasinski one where you couldn't make a sound or the monsters came?
Oh, Quiet Place.
Yes, and then you had Bird Box, where if you opened your eyes, you'd see the monsters and you'd die. I can't remember the premise there. So now there's Elevation, where the monsters can only go up so high. So if you just climb the mountain, then the monsters, there's like they actually drew a line and spray painted. So
Wow.
know that if you can just make it across that line, and these big monsters stop. So that's Elevation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that, so I'll probably check that out. It's a weird premise. You go, I'm not going to analyze it too much.
Yeah. Yep. It had Deadpool's wife. What's her name? Macaron, whatever.
Blake Lively? No, not Blake Lively. Is she Blake?
Oh, yeah. Not Ryan's wife, but Deadpool's wife.
Oh, Deadpool's wife. Right.
Sorry.
You mean they're different people? I thought Ryan and Deadpool were the same person.
You'd think that. And you talk about some online hate, man. Now everybody hates Ryan Reynolds. Like, oh yeah, well, somebody spilled the beans, and he's a rich bastard, and we hate him now. I don't.
It's weird how. Yeah, like you were talking about people being fickle.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen a few times over the years. Go, yay, we like that person. And then you're like, oh, we hate them. Why? What happened? What did they do?
Right.
Did they kick a puppy or what? I don't know. And it's everybody loved Ryan Reynolds. And now it's just because of the court case thing that's going on with this director or whatever.
Have you've seen Deadpool Wolverine, right?
Yeah. Good film.
Okay, so
I liked it. I didn't know. I mean, I hate it now because obviously Ryan Reynolds is in it. I didn't know I was supposed to hate the guy. Ryan, you suck.
But when when the beautiful version of Deadpool, was it Pretty
Nice
Pool
Pool.
or whatever?
Nice Pool.
Yes, Nice Pool. Thank you.
Yeah.
When he comes up and makes some comments about how good somebody looks like, after having a baby and all that stuff, I just thought it was just Ryan riffing. I didn't know that it was based on, this other dude who is, Nice Pool in the real world. But dude, I mean, like, ultimately it's still a movie unless he calls you out and says, this guy sucks because, then it's, what is that? Copyright infringement because it's based on real life? No, because everything could be based on real life.
Everything is. Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like, we like Ryan. We hate Ryan. Ryan sucks.
Yeah.
What?
So does this mean Wrexham's going to tank because,
Yeah. All these people will be watching it while on their cancelled Disney Plus.
Right.
I'm cancelling mine. No, you're not.
Right.
You're really not.
Yeah.
Nobody cancels a platform over one film or one show or one person.
Right.
You cancel the stupid price hikes constantly and the fact you can't afford 15 streaming platforms. That's why you cancel.
Yeah.
That's why I cancel.
Yeah.
So this was the first topic that I wanted to cover. And I didn't know whether to do it at the beginning of the podcast, but we'll do it at the end because we usually do the Star Wars things near the end anyway. Kathleen Kennedy, right? the wonderful really awesome producer of decades and dozens and
Right.
dozens of films that a lot of the
Yeah.
internet just seem to think has ruined their childhood and killed Star Wars.
Yeah.
And there was a story that she's retiring and she's late, so they were all happy, going, you ruined Star
Yeah.
Wars, blah blah blah. Now she's
Right.
come out saying, actually, I'm not retiring.
Really?
We're having discussions about who my replacement will be, but I'm not retiring
Gotcha.
just yet.
Right.
I like Kathleen Kennedy. Star Wars has had its issues while being under the Disney banner.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's all Kathleen Kennedy that's going, no, cancel, change this, redo that.
Right.
Because, forgive me if I'm mistaken, Disney has shareholders and other executives that are above Kathleen Kennedy. So Lucasfilm is not equal with Disney. Lucasfilm is a part of the Disney family, and Disney,
It's under that umbrella. Yeah.
Or Iger can go, Kathleen, no, you can't do that. She's like, but I want to make an Acolyte. No, you can't. But I want to. And it's what's your take on it? How much blame do you think Kathleen Kennedy gets for the state that Star Wars in? I personally don't think it's 100% Kathleen. I think if somebody else comes in, I don't think everything's fixed and it works.
Yeah. I think that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are probably the best to lead Star Wars because I think they are our age. They have a passion for Star Wars. I don't know that Kathleen Kennedy ruined it per se, but I'd say 50% is bad choices on her part. And then 50% is because the powers that be need a scapegoat. So they're just like, it's Kathleen's fault. And then, but I mean, you think about how many times George Lucas ruined our childhood with the special editions. Oh, he's ruined it. He's killed our memories. No, he didn't. And then when episode 1 came out and we were all excited until, well, Jar Jar sucks, man. He's ruined everything. Right. And then, I'm not a fan of the sequels, but the prequels, I don't know how I felt about them to begin with, really. But I didn't want to say too much because that was my kid's Star Wars. And so I wanted that to kind of remain sacred to them if they really, because they thought, or whatever, they thought all that nonsense was fun, man. And Jar Jar was fun. And Jar Jar's boss man, not Nass, but the king or whatever. I can't even remember his name, and I didn't see the movie. Yes, there you go, man. But and all his spitting and shaking his head and stuff. I mean, like, I just accepted it. There were technical things where Lucas was trying to push the digital frontier, which I applaud him for. But I mean, like, I think I picked up on a few things in the theater, and then now when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, well, it's obvious that movie is antiquated now, and you can do all sorts of really magical stuff now. But I don't think Kathleen Kennedy. There was one reviewer, I can't remember his name, but anyway, he was saying if you look at Kathleen Kennedy's IMDb, she is golden, and then suddenly she is a lump of coal. And dude, that's the way Hollywood was built originally. They're going to have a 3-picture deal, and you can, maybe it was different studios and stuff, but it's like, okay, we have money to make 3 movies. 2 can be sure things, and then the other one be experimental. We don't care. If we lose money on that, we're going to make money on these things. And I agree with, there's one song on one Offspring album. Are you familiar with Offspring? Anyway, no. I'll send you some tracks. But it's, one of their songs says something like, if you find this stuff offensive, because they are funny. I mean, it's R-rated rock and roll. But anyway, they said, if you're offended by it, then just don't listen. And so I think with the Acolyte, and I'm not a fan, as you and I have discussed. I don't know that I blame Kathleen Kennedy for its. I don't know. it to me didn't follow the heart of George Lucas's Star Wars. And
Hmm.
Jake and I had a discussion about this, and I mean, Jake wasn't around for, I think he was very young when Terminator 2 came out, but he wasn't even born when Terminator 1 came out. So, I mean, I can't remember how old he is now, but I mean, he's a good deal younger than you and I. And so, we were discussing the Kathleen Kennedy thing and, looking after the heart of Star Wars. And Jake was aghast that I didn't like some of the things that Kathleen Kennedy had done with Star Wars,
Yeah.
including the sequels. But he didn't go see Star Wars in the theater. He didn't go see any of the original trilogy in the movie theater,
Wow.
unless it was, like, I don't know, like a reissue or something, so that
Yeah.
Lucasfilm could make more money. But he couldn't. He didn't really understand why I was like, man, I didn't like Acolyte. It went contradictory to everything that Lucas had built, and then they had crappy lightsabers to boot, man. They keep,
Yeah.
they're
Good more.
unreliable. Yeah, man. And then to Jake's, to Jake then said something about kyber crystals and the power for them originally, blah, 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 and some extremely deep nerd stuff. And I was just like, dude, you've left me behind, which is hard to do in Star Wars. But he didn't really get why I didn't like the Acolyte and some of the other things that Kathleen Kennedy did with Star Wars. But I agree with you, man.
Mm.
Somebody, I mean, like, I sometimes I envision Disney being like a schoolyard. So it's like, um, Dave and John could have gone to Lucas and said, Kathleen's messing up everything. We've got to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, there was a time where I think everybody supported Kathleen Kennedy's vision and girl power and all this stuff. And dude, you think about Sarah Connor and all these other badasses in the James Cameron
Yep.
franchises. Man, I love strong women. I love women who
Yeah.
don't need to be saved. The Mary Janes and the Lois Lanes, dude, that's old hat. And but so anyway, but yeah, I don't have a problem with girl power at all. I think that's awesome. But I just feel like if you're going to play in a sandbox that is well defined, don't go take a dump in it. Let's respect it. If you want to do
Yeah.
something, I mean, it's like you look at Rebel Moon. That could have been
Yeah.
Star Wars, and I think
Yeah.
originally,
It was
he
meant
was
to be,
thinking,
wasn't it? It was.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yet he went off on his own to tell a great story. And you look at Rebel One, and that's another great story. Do you have to watch it as a Star Wars movie? No. I mean, like, there's some cool
Mm.
aspects of the Star Wars universe that are relayed in there. But anyway, I don't know that I answered your question.
I think so. I think some of the comments that annoy me the most are these idiots who, they go, "Oh, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't know anything." You go, but look at her producing record, right?
Right.
You go back to associate producer for Poltergeist, the first one, and then
Yeah.
she helped form Amblin with Spielberg, and she's worked on a lot
Yeah.
of Spielberg films. And they
Yeah.
go, "Yeah, but she was just riding Spielberg and Lucas's coattails. She was a glorified secretary." Right? That's a comment I saw. And it's like, do you really think that Spielberg and Lucas would allow somebody who was just a glorified secretary to
Right.
ride their
Yeah.
coattails for decades?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it would never
Yeah.
happen. But I think at
Yeah.
some point, I think somebody will write a book about it or something. But I think the
Yeah.
story will come out about what went wrong with Star. That's a book I'd read. What went
Yeah.
wrong with Star Wars? And I
Yeah.
don't for a second think it's just Kathleen Kennedy that controls everything, that just hasn't
Right.
got a clue and is ruining it all.
Yeah.
There's more. I suspect shareholders are like, no, you can't do that. You do this, you do
Yeah.
that. Too many
Yeah.
chefs trying to make one pie, I think, is
Yep.
probably what's happening. But it's just a shame that they're all going after Kennedy. And obviously you've got
Yeah.
the sexist idiots who are like, that's what happens when you put a woman in charge. No,
Right.
that's not what happens when you put a woman in charge. It's
Did
just,
they really say?
yeah. Yeah, I've seen all of those. It's like, for the love of God. But then you've got to
That's why I
remind
just.
yourself
Yeah.
that a lot of the internet is stupid.
Right.
They're
Well,
just
at
they have
least,
no thought in their brain.
yeah, at least Ryan Reynolds has taken some of the heat off Kathleen Kennedy, right?
Yeah, it's
And
just
Gene Hackman. It's
crazy.
sad, but I mean, like, that's what I'm seeing more of when I open up YouTube, which is more and more seldom, man. I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's I I would rather see what I want to see instead of, all the recommendations on YouTube.
yep.
Because you like this, we think you'll like that. And I mean, Netflix, is it Netflix or Prime? I think it's Netflix that's like, oh, you like green eggs and ham, so you'll love this psycho killer clown, and like,
Yeah, it's
what
like
do these
no.
things have to do with each other? I mean, does he like green eggs and ham? Wow. But
Apparently,
anyway, yeah.
but yes. Did Kathleen Kennedy ruin Star Wars? I don't think so. I think Disney
No.
have had a lot of missteps with Star Wars. I wouldn't even say Disney have ruined Star Wars. We've had
Yeah.
Rogue One. We've got Andor season 1. Andor season 2
And
comes out. Can't
coming
really
up,
judge
yeah.
that yet, but it looks
Sorry,
pretty
man. I
good.
wasn't trying to flip you off Brit style.
Oh,
I was just saying
let's
too.
flip off the trolls. There we go. We've had. I enjoyed Mandalorian season 3. It wasn't as good as
Yeah.
1 and 2, but I
Right.
enjoyed it. So we've had 3
Yeah.
decent seasons. I enjoyed
Yeah.
Ahsoka and
Yeah.
Acolytes. It's not. It wasn't great.
Yeah. But there was this one guy at work, and anyway, I'm not going to name his name. I can't imagine he would ever that he knows that I do podcasting.
Shout out to
Um,
Dave Smith.
oh, dude, you were so close.
Well,
But anyway, he was, commenting about Andor season 2's looking like it'll be great. And he said, let's hope that Disney doesn't mess it up like they did Ahsoka. And I was like, dude, I thought Ahsoka was good.
I
It's
enjoyed
like,
it.
oh no, there were lots of people who agree with me,
Of course it
and
was.
they didn't like it either. And I'm like, okay, so you got a demographic that didn't like it, but then you have a demographic that did like it,
I
me
liked it.
and you.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but these people that feel like they need to justify whether they like it or not. I didn't like the Acolyte. There were parts of it that I did. I mean, like little facets, right? But
Yeah.
overall, I didn't like it. But I don't care who loved it and who hated it. It's just my opinion based upon my likes. I mean, it's like, Michelle, we were at a restaurant the other day and she was like, okay, so we're gonna get, let's get this, we'll share this, and then what kind of vegetables do you want? And I was like, how about none? We're at a restaurant, we're eating out. So
Mhm.
I'll have my pizza and then some shrimp and stuff. But yeah, I was not in the mood for any leafy greens.
No.
But she tries to look after me. I'm grateful for that. But it's the same thing. I mean, like Michelle would have preferred having vegetables. So it's Acolyte yay, Acolyte nay. Yeah. But if we're talking about one thing that jacked up Star Wars on Disney, let's go with the 20-minute episodes, dude.
Yeah,
You barely
that's the
get
bigger problem.
started and then it's like, see ya. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I miss seeing Star Wars in a cinema.
Yeah.
In the same way that I'll miss seeing James Bond in cinemas, but that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
I've still not come to terms with that one, but I think
Yeah.
Star Wars should be big screen. It should be an event. It should be one every however many years. I'm fine with it. I've won every 2, 3, 4 years. I'm good.
Yeah.
We lived through the dark
Yeah.
times when there was like 16 years between Jedi and Phantom Menace, and we were very excited when the Phantom Menace came out, and a lot of people weren't, but I was.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
I just the hatred against Kathleen Kennedy. It's like I think it just shows you how people don't know how the movie business works or how any massive company works. If they're like, it's her fault, she ruined everything. I personally think she did, and
I think if if everybody would ask the question, why do you think that? If you have a valid reason versus, oh well, she said or he said, my best friend hates her, and well, I don't know why I hate her, other than she's hateable, evidently, and nah, man, it's that if everybody should make up their own minds instead of just being the parrot.
Yeah.
So.
Instead of I saw it on Facebook, therefore it must be true.
Oh my gosh, man. It's with my birthday last week, and I knew a lot of people be wishing me happy birthday on Facebook. So I always wait until like a week, and then I'll go in there and I want to thumbs up everybody, like their post, because I'm grateful. I appreciate people, even though Facebook does make it very easy. It's like, oh, it's Stuart's birthday. Click, and you just click and it sends happy birthday, right? Some of these people made banners and stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe that's also one click away. I don't know. But I appreciated everybody's thoughts. I appreciated you reaching out personally too. And but where was I going? Oh, but anyway, I haven't been on Facebook in so long. And because I went on, then certain people were trying to, my goodness, certain people were trying to reach out to me. Yeah. So this is an antler.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And that's what he likes to chew
Jack's
on.
So brilliant.
Yes. But he just when it comes to, like, sometimes he'll drop it and it'll go under the sofa, and he'll just move the sofa. All the rest of the dogs were nicey, right? And they would whimper, they would scratch. But I mean, Jackson's just like, was it Mr. Incredible? Just there it is. So,
it's like a little kid at the beginning, well, little baby Superman lifts a car up just to rescue Glenn Ford. Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. But your birthday went well. You had a good day.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was very ordinary. And then we have a favorite restaurant in town called Lee Cuisine. It's gosh, man, what cuisine is it? That's like pad thai and different others. So it's anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted by my dog. But anyway,
you've been chatting for nearly an hour and a half. Stop, it's my time now.
You're talking to a little box, man.
We're nearly finished, Jack. So we're nearly finished.
But we picked up carry out and went and picked up a bottle of wine and then came home and relaxed. I think we were watching Night Country, True Detective. And so, but that was exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to go out, didn't want to do anything, fancy or anything. And so,
But you had a good day. And what's your plans for the rest of today?
There's a friend of mine who he and his wife are in from Hawaii. His dad died, and so the funeral was over the weekend. So he and I are trying to catch up. So we're gonna go out and eat dinner. Both Michelle and his wife Jess will go with us, and so anyway, but that's we're going to a sushi place, but that's really all I have planned. I mean, I'm done with Daredevil, and Daredevil, sorry. And then so we've got Reacher, so maybe I'll watch that. But I mean, ultimately, if we go out and eat and come back and go to bed, that's fine. So it's a simple life, man. Yeah. What about you? What are you up to
wrong with
now that your day is almost gone?
Well, tomorrow is my packing for a trip to Scotland on Saturday.
Nice.
I'm off up to a friend of mine, Fraser's film premiere for his short film,
Faithful
in Glasgow.
Man. Yeah.
So I'm hosting a Q&A for that. A little bit concerned about the Q&A, if I'm being honest, because it's like I've got 20 minutes. There's 7 people on the Q&A. The maths don't add up that's going to allow me to say a lot. It's literally just going to be, let me just introduce anybody. Has anybody got any questions? Because I could make a Q&A last for 2 hours, so 20 minutes for 7 people.
Yeah. That's
not easy. So
So is your daylight savings time coming in this weekend?
I believe it is. Yeah. So we'll have to.
Okay.
I'll swap.
So you're gonna lose an hour, man. You've got 20 minutes to do what you do, and then you're losing an hour going into Sunday. It's a lot,
that's on Sunday as well, isn't it? So I'll just sleep an hour longer. I don't care. The event that we're going to is on Saturday, so by Sunday it's our day just to wander around Glasgow and just do whatever. So I can afford to lose an hour from that day. So
I hear you.
That's not too. And then we come back Monday, so we're only away for 2 days, but we're going to sit on the train for 3.5 hours, go all the way up there. So I look forward to it.
Wow, man. Dude, but that's nice. I've never traveled by rail. There was a cousin of mine who was a train conductor. And so there was one day when my granddad took me to go ride on his train, and it was kind of a old school open air kind of train
Okay.
as far as the engine. And I got to, I mean, I was probably 7 or 8, and I got to, make the whistle blow and all that stuff. But
Nice.
that's been my only experience. But Michelle and I've talked about traveling somewhere by rail, and go on a little vacation. So that's on the
Definitely.
bucket list.
It's very relaxing as train
Yeah.
journeys. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much that's our weekend. So tomorrow's me making sure I've got the memory cards and all the clothes and the suitcases
Yeah.
packed. And then Saturday morning we set off, catch the train, and then we're off up to Scotland. So it'll be the first filmy thing I've done in probably well over a year. So
Yeah.
it'll be good. Looking forward to it.
So speaking of Scotland, I'm going to bring up Ireland. Have you seen Bad Sisters? That's it.
No, I have not.
That's another one that's on Apple. That you
Series,
should
is that a
check
TV
out.
series?
Yep, 2
Okay.
seasons, and it wraps it up beautifully. So
Brilliant. I will
there.
check that out. Yep.
Yeah,
I do like Irish stuff. So.
yeah. It's just they have such great attitude, just not caring and speaking their mind. It's a fun series. So anyway, just randomly thought of that. So yeah.
I will check that one out, John. Thank you.
Yeah,
Right.
but I hope you have safe travels, and
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing what you record and share.
Me too. And I hope that Jax gets to go out for a walk or whatever, and it's very exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, we're working on that. There's hairs because he sheds a lot. So
Yeah.
I keep getting these hairs that come up and then collect, and I'm trying to be cool. After I did the hands emotion earlier,
Yep.
I don't want to act like I'm picking my nose. So
Like
anyway.
wiping cocaine off your nose or something.
Oh,
Like,
exactly.
Tony
Yeah.
Montana going on there.
Right.
I know. But you enjoy the rest of your day, and hope you enjoy your meal out tonight. Enjoy your sushi.
Thank
and stuff.
you.
And
Yeah, man.
have a lovely weekend as well.
Well, I hope you do too. We're almost there.
We are indeed. All right. Take care.
Bye. All
Bye.
right.